This fucking movie, man.
Oh yeah.
This is one of I really like The American Friend, but I saw this movie in Europe. So I've seen two movies in Europe that premiered in Europe that really affected me. One was Taxi Driver, and it was because it had won at Cannes. And then there was this one when I lived in Germany because it had just won at Cannes.
Wow.
And, you know, I was blown away sitting there in a theater in Bonn saying, Dean Lent, I know that person.
That must be nice. But
so I had a problem with this movie where it's the problem I've mentioned before with other movies where it immediately fell out of my head after I watched it.
Wow.
A lot of that probably has to do with non-movie related stuff. I've just been under a lot of fucking stress recently. So I went back and rewatched sections of it yesterday and today just to sort of like refresh myself on what happened. And I accidentally left the subtitles on when I started it for this. And this is the review of the movie.
Slide guitar melancholy. Yep, I'd say.
All right.
And Roy Cooter.
Ry Cooter.
Right, no one slides like Rye.
You know what? I'm gonna. You know, the thing about Ry Cooter, it's set a mood for this film, but it's been so overdone since then that it's just like it kind of annoyed me a little bit because I've heard.
Yeah, to be honest,
you know what I mean. It's not his fault. It's not the film's fault.
You know?
It's the world's fault. You know what I mean?
I think it was Dead Man, Jim Jarmusch's Dead Man with the Neil Young soundtrack, which was a lot like this. Was it Neil Young?
Yeah.
Which I got so exhausted by.
Yeah.
How'd you like the cameo by John Lurie? Huh?
I did.
I loved I had completely forgotten.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Right.
I had completely forgotten.
You're
I
in the
laughed.
wrong place.
Also,
Yeah.
seeing Dean Stockwell as a normal person was really weird.
Also, we don't watch enough Dean Stockwell movies.
We don't. He's the weirdest person in the world, and this is like his most normal performance.
He's great as Nicky Jr. in like the third or fourth Thin Man.
Blue Velvet was like 2 or 3 years after this.
Here's to your fuck, Frank.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like he was wearing dad jeans and everything. It's like,
hey, he was the original. Yeah, he was. He looked a totally normal guy.
He's got a 1984 Oldsmobile. Like,
yeah, he's got a Cutlass. A Cutlass Supreme, and he's wearing a members only jacket. I mean,
that's a members only jacket for sure.
Yeah, a pink one, a pink members only jacket.
And you picked up
Chris, I just shot a shot
Hunter.
behind you. That's great.
You picked up that the kid Hunter is Karen Black's son.
I didn't know that.
Is that who he is?
Karen Black and Kit Carson, the guy who redid Shepard's screenplay.
Kit Carson had a screen credit on this.
Well, Sam Shepard. This has
Sam Shepard
all over.
wrote the
Yeah, he did. It had that's fingerprints all over this thing.
He didn't finish it.
So
they were filming this in as they were getting parts of the screenplay.
Who finished it?
I believe it was Kit Carson. Yeah,
I think it's Kit Carson and Wim Wenders.
And Wim Wenders. Shepard told Wenders
got a pretty upbeat ending, I thought.
Well, Shepard told Wenders,
yes.
This is kind of what I'm thinking for the end, and they kind of just rolled through it.
Right.
Yeah, which it feels that way.
And they also shot this pretty much as the movie unfolds. So they were doing a lot
in order.
They
kind of ran chronologically. Is forgetting.
Yeah, I mean they went back to Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, I think the town. I think LA was supposed to be San Bernardino, wasn't it?
No,
the airport's right down there at the bottom.
Because they call and say they're in San Bernardino.
Oh, you're right.
So they're outside of LA.
All right.
Okay. I would swear they probably filmed it somewhere like that. Maybe it's the hills of Burbank.
I'll ask Dean though to make sure, but I think he told me that.
We need to figure that out. That's very important.
Well, it was such a very specific kind of feeling when they got to Dean Stockwell's house and you saw it sort of just perched on the edge of this canyon
overlooking, and she complained. The first thing the French woman complains about is the fucking airplane.
Yeah,
right.
We like airplanes. We got them coming over day and night. There's noises all the time. Exactly.
The house is apparently still existent and is worth like $2 million.
Well, of course it is.
Scott, you're going to have to edit out all the airports.
I know. This is fun.
gonna
Every movie, stay for the
This
airport
is
talk.
gonna be a separate.
Is this
episode.
the best looking movie we've seen on the show yet? Yes.
Robbie Mueller for the win. Although
Robbie Mueller, yes.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna disagree because I think that's still the Unforgiven.
That's a good looking.
that was a
That was a good one
gorgeous
too.
film.
Oh, I don't know about the rest of you guys. I went digging around. I found the 4K of this. There's a 4K restoration that was done after. I own the Criterion. I A/B'd the two. Criterion disc that I own, the 4K that I found, and the 4K is definitely the one to watch if for no other reason. I don't know what they did. Like it's sharper and it's like I don't know whether they boosted it or what, but it's just vibrant.
Well, 4K is going to give you more color because it's 10-bit.
There's that great scene at the end where he's watching them in the hotel room.
Oh,
And does that look like what's his name, Nighthawks?
Mhm.
I mean,
I was gonna say this is a fucking moving Edward Hopper painting.
it is.
Mueller works a lot with streetlight color, like
God,
that green
how-
stuff.
Well,
How-
he's working with neon, or not
my
neon,
American
but
friend. This
fluorescent.
looks a lot like my
Did you
American
get
friend.
shots that look like this?
He's
Yeah.
just good, man. He's really good.
I've shot Ektachrome under fluorescent lights, like inside,
Mhm.
and you get this weird kind of green tinge to
Yeah.
everything.
Well, back in the day, that's what streetlights. I forgot. There's like metal halide. It was greenish.
This
right.
just had to be luck, right? It
This-
just had.
That's
it had
luck.
to be
That's
luck.
driving around
Yeah,
luck. I bet you that's what
Right, they just caught it and shot it.
Also, Texas has got dramatic sky. It does. I spent some time out there. It's pretty cool looking.
This movie pushed all my fucking buttons, man. So I saw this back in probably the late 80s on VHS, and after watching it like this, I didn't see it. This is like the first time I've ever seen this movie because there's no way that this movie looked good on a VHS tape. There's just no fucking way. And so I'm like engaged on a totally different level, and like the weather, it's like it's got the melancholy, it's got the scenery, the Ry Cooder music was working for me. I'm sorry, but
Those southwestern
this
skates.
whole fucking thing, which Tad's also got, like by the end of it, I am blubbering like
When
a
she's kneeled down and
girl.
she's pulled it
She's
off.
just
And she's
holding
kneeled
the
down.
I am
The
like
speaker.
sobbing
Mhm.
watching the last half hour of this movie,
Yeah.
and it's like for me, like this is an 11 out of 10. This movie.
Which is
Yes,
amazing because if you think of it, the first half of the movie is all outside pretty much because it's him walking around in the desert going his walkabout.
Mhm.
And then they get to LA and they're sort of inside and then it's mixed and everything. But towards the end, it is. It's just this amazing.
Also, I don't believe.
Scenes.
I can't make myself believe that Sam Shepard didn't write the last scene, the big long.
Well,
He
no.
might
So
have.
what he
He
did was
must have.
he told them what he was
Oh,
thinking.
okay.
It was like, here's my ideas. I can't finish this. He had to go do something else. He's like, I can't finish this. Here's what I'm thinking for it. And they
We gave
took
an outline to him basically
what they had and
Yeah.
rolled with it.
because it
I
was
might
just,
have had to go act in the right stuff.
I just
I
I
think
want to
83.
that was a year before. So yeah.
I want to
Well, this
just
was produced in '83.
right. I want to just say something real quick, which is I can't take fucking precocious children anymore. I just can't.
I didn't think
I-
he was bad.
Oh,
I thought he did a decent job.
every fucking time he has an extended monologue about like the Big Bang or like the speed of light or whatever, it's just like, stop, please.
Dude, you shouldn't have hung out with me when I was his age then, because that's exactly.
No, I
what
wouldn't
was like.
have.
I know. And he would probably would have beat me up and took my lunch money, I think. That happened, but
I was like that too.
Uh-huh.
It's
Yeah,
just-
so was I. I mean, so was I. So,
yeah, and
It's
yeah,
that
exactly. And none of us wanted to hang out with that version of ourselves.
Okay, so it's not the precocious child trope. It's more just it's cringy because it kind of reminds you of yourself.
no, it's the precocious child trope. It doesn't matter what they're being sort of adorably precocious about. I just it just grates on me after a while. If it had just been one, if it had just been the first one, or the we have to go get walkie-talkies and jackets and all of that other stuff.
I thought that was very natural for a boy. I mean, it felt really
I didn't
right.
think he was
Yeah.
bad.
but I didn't need it over and over again.
Well, okay. Well, the thing is,
This movie's too long. It's too long, and we can take some of that stuff out.
Admittedly,
Tad's wrong.
That is wrong.
Yeah. But anyway, I think
I'm glad Tad said it first. I don't know if you have a John is wrong, but I think
I'm ready. Bring it.
It's too long. There's too much walking around in the beginning.
It's a bit long, but
it's a bit long. It doesn't need, for the story it's telling, it doesn't need to really be 2 hours 30 or whatever.
Inject this movie into my veins. I'm just saying.
Also, this movie could have had no dialogue and in some ways almost no plot. This could have just been a series of really, really wonderful visuals. Like you could almost make a baraka out of this, of just we're filming walking through the desert, and then we're filming driving through the rain in Texas, and then we're filming urban-ish suburban exurb LA, and then we're filming Houston, and then we're filming in this club. Like,
I wouldn't go that far. I think everything you say is valid in that, yes, the visuals are such a big part of this movie, but I think they are a part of a movie.
All right.
I just love that scene where they're in the back of the ranchero there underneath the LA freeway.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous.
Yeah, with all
going everywhere.
Yeah.
Again, that's better for what you're seeing than what you're hearing.
Okay, give me a sec, because this film, I think there's a theme here that is just fascinating, and it just made me so happy to watch, because it's a story about someone coming out of a bad state, and Harry Dean Stanton's character, he goes from beginning to end. He starts as one character and he ends as somebody else. In the beginning, he says nothing. He's damaged. He's an amnesiac. He can't remember anything. He doesn't even exist as a person. Then he slowly, it's like slowly plucking a string on a guitar. He finally gets little beats, little pieces. He puts more and more together. He says more and more and more. He gets more and more involved. And at the end of the film, he delivers this unbelievable monologue. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's just beautifully written in terms of like, you always want a movie to kind of find a character and open them up. And this is what this film did. And now
you get to
that's
my
why
argument.
You got tears in your eyes at the end, because
now you get to my argument that he's dying.
Well,
maybe
honestly,
we're all dying.
No, I mean, like think about like Tu Mama Tambien, same kind of a thing. Where like, yeah, that wouldn't surprise. Like if I found out that was what Sam Shepard was thinking about when he wrote this character, would make all the sense in the world to me, because it would explain like the choice he makes to, I'm going to give this kid back to his mom, but then I'm going to bail.
Right.
Well, but not only the choice that he makes, the journey that he goes on.
Yeah.
Like he's an abusive nightmare person as her husband, and then he disappears for a while and he reappears with nothing. Why would you reappear with nothing? You have to go back to the world to make amends. You have found out that you're dying. You have to go back to the world and make amends. So he goes back to the world. He finds his brother. He finds his son. He takes his son to his wife, who he was damaging to. He gives her his son, her son, and allows them to reconnect as people in a place where they can be together, and leaves. And that leaving could be a physical leaving, or it could be death.
Right.
Okay, Ted, I think you've got it backwards.
Great.
It's not that he's that is Travis's name. I think he's
Travis.
not that he's dying. He's actually doing the opposite. He's coming to life. He goes from a place of non-existence to a place of full existence, and at the end, he goes back to non-existence again.
But
Well,
isn't that
after fixing the one thing that he remembered he did wrong?
But isn't that every movie where somebody gets a fatal diagnosis and then goes and tries to fix
everything?
things?
I don't think he got found. I think it just accidentally happened.
No, well,
He walked into that bar like he
Looking
came
for water.
But he came from somewhere to that place of civilization.
out of nothing. He came out of nowhere. That's the thing.
Right, but that's what I'm
see it
saying.
as birth.
Remember, a German directed this.
Okay,
so
if you want to
existentialism-
do birth, life, death, then fine, I'll go with you on that one. But there's definitely death at the back end of this.
Yeah,
well, he disappears at the end.
I think he just goes to start. You know, I think he buys a single wide trailer and moves to Paris, Texas on his little lot. The end.
Oh, that would be nice for him.
I think they don't say it, but that's kind of where he's pointed, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is kind of where he's pointed.
Yeah,
I like the idea of that as much as I like what Tad's saying.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think this movie allows him to have that.
Mhm.
I don't think it's important. He delivers his message at the end and then dies.
Or again,
Well,
dying.
In terms of
becoming
story, he dies. He's gone.
Yeah. Well, okay. He doesn't die. He disappears. He goes to another realm.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, this is directed by a German, so he goes from a point of non-existence back to non-existence again. But that's true for every character in every movie ever made. They start non-existent, they become non-existent at the end again.
When Wenders came to the United States at Coppola's behest, Coppola got him to make a movie based on the novel about Dashiell Hammett. And Wenders immediately fell in love with Ronnie Blakely and married her. And then their whole life came unhinged. And Coppola took over that movie from him,
He did.
Finished it. So there was, I see a little autobiography in Travis's character. It's sort of
Maybe.
Wim Wenders reimagining himself as an American.
She's really good too.
Oh, there were a number. This is a French
Natasha,
German. This is a French German co-production.
Klaus Kinski's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I can.
She was in everything, and then she just disappeared. What happened to her?
You know what?
She married somebody, and
No, what happened to her
kids.
is the unfortunate thing that happens to every ingenue after they get past a certain age. They kind of
she got older.
disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the sad truth.
Yeah, but she
There's another Wim Wenders film called False Move, which is based on what's his name, the guy who did Dr. Faustus and that stuff, Johannes, whatever his name is. Anyway, I've seen that movie, and it was shot in Bonn, and she's like 15 or 14, and she's a knockout. She's amazing in that movie.
Yeah, for a film set in the Southwest in LA, there's an awful lot of Europeans in this film.
Well, of course.
I can't imagine why.
I guess
The amazing thing is, I think she does a passable American.
I know her accent was kind of in and out, but
She
most
wobbles a
good.
bit in their big
She
scene.
wobbles a bit, but nobody in Texas is really from Texas.
That- I think you're
My
making
theory.
that-
Well,
making
it's
that
the
point,
German,
yes.
the German doctor at the
God,
beginning.
you are-
Because there's a shit ton of German people in southern Texas.
There are in Southeast Texas, anyway.
Yeah.
That guy could have been a hiding Nazi for all we know.
I think
He was crossing the
I like
border
his,
back
like,
and forth to Mexico, so he doesn't get
Exactly.
caught.
there's a little matter of a reward.
Yeah. Was he the guy from the Laughing Dude? Was he? Maybe he was him. He retired to
He
America.
was, yeah, he retired to Texas.
No, fortunately, that guy died of stomach cancer in Johannesburg.
Oh,
Excellent.
don't. Or so he says.
So, yeah, that's if you believe them.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is a very sad film, and I saw it, and it's still way sad. So well done.
I hold this movie in the highest possible esteem. Nastasia Kinski breaks my heart, and third Scott.
No, she did a fantastic job. She did.
Dude,
really.
I always have something I have to transmit via Sheila or from Sheila
Sure.
via me. And this was, he leaves the kid in the hotel and basically turns him over to a woman who set him on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did she set him on fire?
Not the kid. Set
Yeah.
him on fire.
Set him on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not the
that's
kid.
true.
So we're okay. You
Yeah,
know?
okay.
Also,
He got set on fire. We're
she
By
fine.
his
also-
own admission, he was an asshole.
She
Yeah.
may have
probably
not
had it coming.
intentionally.
Yeah.
She may have not intentionally set him on fire. She may have intentionally not woken him up after the fire started, which
His
is what
bed's
got,
on fire. I'm just gonna leave.
And I'm going to
just gonna
try
leave
not
that.
to
Quietly shut the door.
I'm going to try not to think about the fact that the kid is alone in the hotel room, and somehow Nastasia just wanders in.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe he gave
Chris-
her a key. That's what Sheila
no,
said.
Chris, this film was full of 70s parenting.
I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to let Robbie Muller's visuals just waft over
No,
me.
70s parenting.
70s parenting.
Yeah, you're going to be
well
fine in
said.
the back of the truck all day. You'll be fine outside a bank all day. You're going to be fine in a hotel room
Well,
all day.
I
That's fine.
love it.
Thank you
I've
Before
been
he
very
making
much.
keys. I've been
Before
making
he goes
keys out of
into the
key blanks
whorehouse,
recently.
it's like-
It's way easier than you think.
Oh,
okay.
Tasha Kinski could do this.
All right, good enough.
I love this fucking movie.
Me too. It was
Yeah,
It's a great movie.
Jim, you got to pick Wings of Desire now.
Okay, so are we at thumbs yet? I guess.
I was thinking,
Jim's
Wings
Corner.
of Desire and Until the End of the World.
So
I
you
give
done?
it 2 thumbs up.
Well, Jim,
because
you
I
were in this
love
one, so
Wim
you're in your
Wenders.
corner. So well done. man.
Jim, isn't Until the End of the World like 5 hours long or something?
Yeah.
No, we're not doing it.
Yes,
5
it
hour long
is.
movie.
We're not.